All right. Hi, Bruce.
Hi, Julie. Good to see you this morning.
Yeah, thanks for chatting with me on Zoom. So, I wanted to make a video for UM students that are highlighting some financial educators and resources on campus and in the community. And since you and I have worked together so much this semester on BFIN 205, I thought having a virtual introduction might be a great place to start. So, I'm Julie, Director of the Financial Education Program. And could you introduce yourself and a little bit about your background and BFIN 205 personal finance?
Okay, thank you, Julie. And it's a pleasure to be here this morning with you. Although I guess I'm in the evening and you're in the daytime as we go here with us. It's the magic of Zoom. We can be in two different time zones at the same university. But anyway, folks, I'm Dr. Bruce Costa. I've been here at the university for over 20 years. I've taught personal finance almost continuously during my period here. I also teach courses in corporate finance, and I cover the courses in finance for the MBA program here that the university offers.
Great. Yeah. And so this course, personal finance, we've been teaching, we've learned a lot just about our student population. I know you learn a lot every semester that you teach it. But one of the things we're noticing this year, and it might just be, the economic climate right now, but students are really interested in investing and how to get started, how to build their retirement and build their wealth. But a lot of them are not sure how to begin. So um, that's a huge topic, but what would be your advice to a student who's beginning their journey with personal finance and interested in building their wealth?
First of all, I would congratulate them for even starting this journey. And you can't really start too soon. I think as soon as you start earning a paycheck, you need to start thinking about investing, because basically what you want to do is develop a budget so that you always live in what you have, and you're also putting aside money so you're not overspending what you earn. So starting early and getting the power of compounding, and we'll talk some more about that perhaps when we get into some more specific investments, is a really good way to go. Put a money aside for 3 to 6 month emergency fund, start having money growing there in a bank account. And then after that, start thinking about putting money aside into funds for retirement, for a home or for a car, or for whatever your goals are. But have those goals and understand what you're working for, so you're not spending every paycheck on the weekend.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. And can you give a couple more examples of like a place where a student could put their money to initially begin investing?
So certainly, I mean, a bank is where everybody starts, and that's a good place to go do. But banks aren't paying very high interest rates right now. So once you have up a comfortable sum of money, that 3 to 6 months we've talked about, and you can cover your expenses, then you want to get beyond that. And the only way you can get beyond that is actually having a budget so that you understand what you can spend on, and looking at some of the necessary expenses and what might be considered frivolous expenses too, and being able to do that. And once you get beyond that, you can take a look at CDs, you can look at money market accounts, you can start looking at mutual funds. And I would encourage students to look at mutual funds before getting into specific bonds or stocks.
Yeah, and one of the things that we've talked about in BFIN 205 is thinking of it as like a ladder. You have to have your hand on the first rung before you can reach for the next rung. So having that emergency fund of 3 to 5 months of savings, and then kind of reaching it progressively towards, more risky investments even. But first you need to start with these basic personal finances. And then another thing that we talk about a lot is finding a mentor, right? Looking for a financial educator, somebody who knows more than you, who can really guide you into that next tier, onto that next rung. So you're one of those people at UM. For investing, I definitely recommend taking a course like this, working with a financial professional. But for some of the budgeting work and building those financial literacy base, you can also come to the financial education program on campus, and we can meet with students as well.
Yeah, that's a great source of coming there too. And I would encourage everybody to go there. Start with a budget. And if you don't know how to put one together, by all means, go and see Julie, the Financial Education Planning Office, and talk to them. They'll help you out, get you going on in the right direction.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So one of the other things that we've noticed this semester, so many students have student debt and they're going to graduate with student debt. How does this change the conversation around investing, in your opinion?
It changes the conversation, but it doesn't mean you can't invest. And so I applaud you for taking the time and effort out of your lives and going to the university and basically investing in yourself. Okay. And if you didn't have the money, you had to borrow the money to be able to go do it. But you're going to increase your earning powers. All studies say that going to the university and getting an education is going to increase earning power. So once you're done, great, congratulations. Welcome to the working world. And now start building on that budget and those habits you developed hopefully in college to be able to control your spending, but also be able to pay down both the debt and start savings too. So what we don't want you to see is just focus on paying down your debt and then say, oh, after that's all done, then I'll go on and put money towards retirement. So one of the things we talk about right early on, along with budgeting, is having these long-term goals and climbing up that ladder. And you want to have as much time to get to the top of the ladder as possible. So if you spend, let's say, the first 10 years paying down your debt and doing everything else and don't put any money into a retirement account, you're missing out on the power of compounding. And literally someone who has only did it for 30 years versus 40 years, that person with a 30-year account is going to have less than half the money than what somebody might have had in the 40-year account. And if they had tried to play catch up, they're actually taking more risk. So I would encourage start early and put as much money aside as you can, as soon as you can.
Yeah, and modest amounts are okay too. I think a lot of students or early graduates are tentative to start, but $50 a month in a mutual fund now is a great place to start your investing journey. And if that's what you can do for now, that's great.
Yes, and it is, and it works out really good, and you get to see it grow. And don't worry if it goes down at first, but over the long term, money goes up. All studies have pointed that investing in large capital stocks over the long term, if you take any 10-year period, you're going to see growth.
Yeah. So one of the things that we did this semester that I thought was really great and it worked out really well with students is the financial education program built out a book loan program for one of the course texts called The Richest Man in Babylon.
Mm-hmm.
So basically what we did is we bought a bunch of these books that if students wanted to save a little money, not buying the textbook, they could, or not buying The Richest Man in Babylon, they could come and borrow this book from the financial education program. And then they could return it at the end of the semester, or several of them actually emailed us saying, I loved this book. Can I keep it or pass it on to a friend? And we said, absolutely. That's the point here, is just spreading that knowledge. So maybe I was hoping you could talk a little bit about why we chose this book, why you thought this was a good read for students who are interested in personal finance, and any other blogs or websites and continued reading that you suggest for students.
I'd be happy to. That book is great. And Julie actually turned me on to that book because I really hadn't looked at it too much. It's a very short read. It's set in Babylon. It's actually a real world place over 4,000 years ago. It's a fictional story, but the advice that the author offers in the 7 cures is as appropriate to someone who's living 4,000 years ago as it was 100 years ago when it was written, or as it is today. And if you follow those 7 cures, you can develop a very good pattern for savings and for building wealth and for having a very successful life, if that's what you want to go do. And it doesn't mean you have to have a lot of money, but you get to do the things you want. That's why we talk about goals a lot too. And what is it going to take to actually accomplish those goals? So having a savings plan is really good to be able to do. That's one resource, and we've had students look at that, and like Julie said, they really like the book, and some of them are keeping it or passing it on to friends, which is awesome that they're doing that. The other thing we do in BFIN 205 is we typically start the day with the Wall Street Journal. And the Wall Street Journal, besides reporting on financial news that's going on in the world, also has a wonderful personal finance section that has all sorts of good information, whether it be on taxes or savings or just anything that's going on that can help you increase your wealth. Most recently, we were just talking about some online apps, and there's a great article in today's Wall Street Journal about the problems with having tax strategies with some of these online apps and being able to look at them and do something else. So I'd encourage you to find a mentor or somebody you trust, or even better, come to our course so you can learn some more about it. Julie and I would love to have you in the course, but we'll provide information throughout that, and you get to answer questions, because basically when we meet, we're answering your questions after you've done the study on all the material we cover.
Yeah, it's a really applicable life skill in addition to being academic credit. So Yeah, and they can sign up for next fall. We're offering the course again.
Mhm.
Cool. But any student on campus can take it. Yeah, and also if you're interested in reading this book, Richest Man in Babylon, we still have like 40 copies that are returned or just are in the financial education office. So give me an email, go to the Office for Student Success, and you can pick up a copy if you want to read it. So
Yeah.
yeah, Bruce, thanks so much for chatting with me. I just think you're such a wealth of knowledge, so I'm always excited to pick your brain. And I know a bunch of students benefited from working with you this semester in BFIN 205, and I know next fall will be the same. So thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Julie, and look forward to doing this some more.